Hey guys, Sam here and welcome back to another FIFA 17 experiment. You guys have been absolutely smashing the likes and the views over the past couple of videos. So if you could keep smashing out the likes, that would be fantastic because I'm keep taking your guys' suggestions and we're keeping the theme of making videos together. We're also keeping the theme of these versus style experiments, which I think are really fun. And speaking of versus and speaking of your guys' ideas, that is exactly what we have for you guys today. Today's video came from an idea which was produced by James, with a Z or a Z, depending on what part of the world you're in. He says, who are better, under 6 feet or over 6 feet? Who will win the Premier League? Like if you agree, and 138 people at the time of this recording liked the comment. It was one of the most well-liked comments on that left-footed versus right-footed video, and James, thank you so much for the idea. I want to say that there were other people that commented it, but I think James would have been one of the first ones, and he obviously was the one that everybody was liking. So if you did also comment that, I do apologize, but James was the comment that I saw, and surely he must have been one of the earliest ones because his is the one that got a lot of likes. So today we will be taking a look at who would be better, under 6 feet or over 6 feet. And the real challenge, I would say, with the under 6 foot team is the center backs and the goalkeeper. I think that might be the difference here between the two teams, and I think that might be what gives the over 6 foot team advantage. But a lot of midfielders, you'd be surprised, are actually below 6 foot. You might be wondering, if they are exactly 6 foot, where will they be? I thought of making them part of the under 6 foot because then that would give a little bit more balance for the teams, but the experiment is literally under 6 foot versus over 6 foot, and I class 6 foot as over 6 foot. So they're part of the over 6 foot team. I don't know if you agree with that decision or not, but I just can't put them in the under 6 foot team because it's quite literally the under 6 foot team. I do like this video idea, and if you like the fact that we are taking your suggestions, please do leave a like on the video and leave a like for James. Thank you so much for the suggestion, and keep your suggestions coming in the comment section below. They're very much appreciated, and you guys have some very good ideas, so keep commenting them in the comment section down below. But without further ado, let's take a look at the two teams that will be competing in the Premier League. Under 6 foot, over 6 foot. Who you got your money on? Alright, kicking things off with the under 6 foot team represented by Manchester City. There's Neymar, Aguero and Messi up front, which is a really strong front three. Modric, Vidal and Kevin De Bruyne make up a midfield three, with Alaba, Mascherano and Phil Lahm as the back four, and Lecker in between the sticks. So the team actually turned out, as far as the starting 11, turned out a lot better than I thought would turn out. Alaba, Mascherano and Lahm are not a bad back four at all. In fact, the fullbacks probably favor the under 6 foot team. The centre backs, though, definitely favoring the over 6 foot for obvious reasons, and the goalkeeper as well. But they actually produced a better starting 11 than I thought. But that goalkeeper position, I think, is going to be the real hindrance here for the under 6 foot team. But if you take a look at the bench and the reserves, you'll take a look that there is a plethora of players, a real depth to this team that I don't know if the over 6 foot team is going to have this sort of depth. The likes of Griezmann, Hazard, Sanchez, David Silva and Iniesta on the bench. I'm not sure that the over 6 foot team is going to have that. We'll have to wait and see. Marcelo obviously on the bench as well, and Sergio's the other goalkeeper. Finding goalkeepers under 6 foot is very, very rare, so that's where I believe this under 6 foot team is going to struggle, is in the goalkeeper department. Hopefully it's not too big of an impact. They've actually put out a better team than I thought. So, alright, moving on to the over 6 foot team, and similar to the right-footed team, this is a back three formation with Higuain and Ibrahimovic up front, Hamšík in the attacking mid position with Ronaldo and Bale on each wing, with Rakitic and Pogba in midfield, Ramos, Boateng and Thiago Silva, the three best centre-backs in the game, the three centre-backs with Manuel Neuer in between the sticks. This team does have a lot of the best players in their position are playing in their position. It's an incredible lineup. It's a fantastic lineup, it has to be said. But looking at the depth that this team has, especially in the midfield and in the attacking regions, it's not as good as the under 6 foot team. There's not a lot of over 6 foot attacking players that are at that elite sort of level, like high 80 rated. You got Aubameyang there and Mulan. They're not bad, but in terms of their FIFA ratings, it's just non-comparable. I think the under 6 foot team has a bit more depth. Then you take a look at Chiellini and Godin as your backup centre-backs, De Gea as the backup goalkeeper. So, I don't know, I thought it was a lot more even. I actually, I really thought the over 6 foot team would be a lot better of a team, but looking at the two teams, I still think the over 6 foot team is a little bit better, but I would genuinely say it's closer than I thought. So they're going to be very interesting to see how these teams stack up. One with a bit more depth, but a a weaker starting 11 and one with a better starting 11 and then a slightly weaker bench. I don't know how it'll turn out, but without further ado, let's take a look at how these teams are stacking up at halfway through the season. But before we get to halfway through the season, these teams do have to play each other, and we like to see how those games turn out. So before we get to halfway through the season, let's get into the match, the first match between the over 6 foot versus under 6 foot team, and we'll see which of the two teams step up and make a real statement. Okay, the first match is a Manchester United home game, which means the over 6 foot team, I should say, is at home, and we'll see how this one turns out. Good sides on either side, and it doesn't look like too many injuries. Messi's put the under 6 foot team up 1-0 nice and early in 12 minutes, and that's a perfect start that they want. They want to get the control here. Going into halftime, they have the lead. No, Gareth Bale makes it 1-1, and he's brought it back for the over 6 foot team, and Bale makes it 2. There we go. The over 6 foot team I thought would pull out the win, and it seems like they will do now. And they've come back from a 1-0 deficit to win this one 2-1 against the under 6 foot team despite having a good start. So that's decent for the over 6 foot team. How has that affected the table? How has that affected these two teams' positions? Let's take a look at halfway through the season, and let's take a look at who is higher, who has started off better. Okay, alright, halfway through the season, it is utter domination from the over 6 foot team. 15 wins, 4 draws, no losses. 38 goals scored, 11 goals conceded, 49 points. They have a 13-point lead over Liverpool, and then Leicester City in third, and then the under 6 foot team, who are currently in fourth. This is a bigger blowout than I thought. There's an 18-point difference between the over 6 foot team and under 6 foot team, and I knew that the under 6 foot team would struggle defensively, but my word, they really are struggling to put points on the board. Attacking wise, I thought they'd maybe match the over 6 foot team. They're only 5 goals behind them, but it just, I mean, I don't know. They're just not putting the points up on the board at the moment. Also, I think the over 6 foot team are dominating, right? 15 wins out of 19. If they weren't on such a tear, maybe the gap would be a little bit closer, but at the moment, I can't see this under 6 foot team bringing it back. Now, they have to pick up second. If they don't pick up second, it's a bit of a joke. With Neymar and Messi in the team and Vidal and, oh my god, it'll be an embarrassing performance from the under 6 foot team if they can't take second place, but Liverpool seem to be performing well. I don't know how, but they are. I guess Liverpool haven't really lost too many players to this experiment, and they still have the likes of Coutinho and Firmino and Henderson. They still have their key players, so I guess it makes a little bit of sense. Leicester City, I don't know how they're third. Despite an 18-point lead, it is not all said and done just yet. There is still time for this under 6 foot team to bring it back. We do know that in these experiments, halfway through the season and then the end of the season usually looks very, very different. A lot changes in the 19 games from the halfway point. So there's still time for the under 6 foot team. They also play the over 6 foot team again. We'll take a look at how this one turns out. It's the under 6 foot team home game. So whether that'll make a difference or not, we'll take a look right now. Can they pull it back? Can they make a statement? And can they put 3 more points on the board? Okay, as stated, this is a Manchester City home game, which means the under 6 foot team has the home advantage. And again, it doesn't seem like there's any injuries to either side. It'll be, again, who can pull out first. Aguero scores again. Again, the under 6 foot team scores first. Pogba's brought it back straight away for the over 6 foot team and has made it 1-1. So not letting that under 6 foot team carry too much momentum for too long. And it looks like now these teams are just trying to find out if they can score another goal with 15 minutes left on the clock. Can either of these teams win the game here? No, they can't. It's the over 6 foot team pulling out a draw, which means they've gone 1 win and 1 draw against the under 6 foot team, and a real unfortunate result for the under 6 foot team. They probably did need this to have any sort of chance of pulling it back, which I'm sure there's no chance at all. I mean, just for pride's sake, the under 6 foot team would have liked to have won that game. And if you just look at the teams here, just look at the teams, there's not really a big difference between the two teams. So I'm really surprised to see that 18-point gap at halfway through the season. We'll see how it turns out at the end of the season right now. Have they closed that gap? At least close the gap. At least try and get second, the under 6 foot team. It's a decent team. Without further ado, let's take a look at how the end of the season looks. Okay. Wow. One loss throughout the whole season for the over 6 foot team. Utter domination. These last 2 videos that we've done have been 2 of the most dominant teams ever. The right-footed team and now the over 6 foot team have both just absolutely demolished the Premier League. Just one loss for the over 6 foot team. Liverpool stayed in second, Leicester stayed in third, and Manchester City, aka the under 6 foot team, stayed in fourth. Which actually, you know, kind of defeats the whole purpose of me saying that things change between halfway and the end of the season, because nothing changed in the top four. Those top four teams stayed the same. And in fact, the gap between the over 6 foot and under 6 foot team grew even more. 26-point difference between the two teams. Jesus. I mean, I guess the goalkeeper is a very important position in simulated games. That's the only thing that I can pull from this experiment, to be honest with you. Did you guys expect this big of a difference? 26 points between those two teams that we saw? I mean, I don't know. I mean, yes, maybe the over 6 foot team is better, but a 26-point difference. 9 losses for the under 6 foot team. I am genuinely shocked that it's this big of a blowout to the over 6 foot team. In terms of the top goal scorers, it was Pogba and Gareth Bale just absolutely smashing it. Pogba with 21 goals, Bale with 18, and Philippe Coutinho, who's always in the top 3 or 5, picking up 17 goals for Liverpool. Other players that were part of the experiment, Dybala and Hazard for the under 6 foot team, picked up 16 and 15 goals respectively, and Ronaldo for the over 6 foot team, picking up 12 goals. That is it. That is the end of today's experiment, guys. Another versus experiment done, and it's an absolute whitewash, guys. If you have any more suggestions, do leave them in the comment section below. I have seen in the comment section 5-star weak foot versus 5-star skill moves. I don't know what I would do if they have both 5-star, 5-star. I'm not sure what team they would go on, but I think that is a decent suggestion as well. Is that something you guys want to see? Or maybe you want to see something else? You guys let me know in the comments below. Keep leaving your suggestions. I can't stress it enough that I am really leaning on you guys here for what do you want to see. I mean, I want to be making the videos that you guys want to see. So if you guys can help me out, put your suggestions in the comment section below. That would be very much appreciated, guys. If you did enjoy today's video, I do urge you to leave a like on the video as well if you haven't already. And if you're new around here, you can subscribe. But that is it, guys. I'm not going to waste any more of your guys' time. I'm going to get up out of here. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you did enjoy today's video. I hope you had a good day. I will see you guys in the next one very soon. Keep it real.